Let's be real for a second. Think about the last few webinars you actually sat through. How many of them taught you something useful and how many were just a total waste of your time? Honestly, most of them are fluff and the data backs it up. 9 out of 10 webinars, as according to the data, is just flat out fail. They don't sell. They don't get people excited. They just exist. And if you are watching this, there's a pretty good chance that yours is sitting in the 90%-ish pile too. But look, don't sweat it yet. Understanding why it's happening, it's the only way we're going to fix it. So that's what we're going to do in this video. We'll find out why it's happening and we'll fix it as well. Think about the last time you clicked a registration link. It probably started with something super vague, right? Like, hey, today I'm going to show you how to make more money online. Well, that's original, isn't it? What happens afterwards? 10 minutes in, the speaker is rambling about a funnel, or they're going to show off their beautiful slides that they created with AI, and they're giving you some motivational speech per se. But on the contrary, what are you doing? You basically have like 5, 10 tabs open. You're checking out Instagram. Half of your eye is on the screen. The other one is basically sending a message to your friends, you checked out. That's it. Your audience feels the exact same way. They have a real problem, but when your webinar doesn't hit that specific pain point, nothing sticks. It's like going to a dentist with a massive toothache, and instead of actually fixing the tooth, they give you a PowerPoint presentation on why brushing is important. You will leave annoyed, right? Maybe a little informed, but annoyed. But you're definitely not buying anything from that dentist. Even worse, you're not even going back to him again, ever. That's all fun and games, but let's talk serious now. Here's the problem. Most people creating webinars are terrified. They're scared of sounding negative. They're scared of pointing out the obvious. They think if they tell their audience their current situation is the mess that they caused themselves, and it's their fault alone that they're stuck, people will get offended and leave. Here's the brutal truth. The fear of sounding harsh is exactly what's killing your sales. I said it. There you go. People don't buy because you're polite. They buy because you help them face the pain that they've been trying to ignore for so many months, years, or in some cases, even just weeks. Your webinar shouldn't just be yet another video. It needs to be a mirror. It needs to be the uncomfortable nudge that makes them realize, okay, I actually can't keep living like this. So here's the shift, okay? Listen to me and listen well. Stop trying to be positive at all times. Seriously. Instead, I want you to write down the one single painful truth your audience is living with right now. The thing that they know it's true, but they are too scared to say it out loud. If you're in marketing, it might sound like you've been burning money on ads for months and your sales haven't moved an inch. That's a real pain, and your audience in marketing will feel it. If you are in fitness, even better, you can say something like, you've tried every fad diet for 3 years and you're still wearing the same oversized shirt to hide your stomach. We've all been there. Yeah, hands up if you've been there. Same here, yes. But that's a real pain. Now, build your opening sentence around that. Don't beat around the bush. Be bold. Be honest. That's how you actually hook people. Once they're leaning in because you get them, you've already won half the battle. Let me paint the picture with a quick example. A while back, I hopped on a webinar about selling online. The guy spent roughly 22 minutes, I kid you not, seriously, explaining what an email list was. To the audience of pros, I was literally nodding off. I was like, okay, see ya. Seriously. But then he paused and just said, look, if you still losing $500 a day on ads, it's not your funnel. You're just lazy. And I went, what? What did you just say, you piece of... And I snapped back instantly. My first thought was, okay, this guy actually gets it. See the difference? The guy spoke to my pain. And that's what you should do. So the takeaway is simple. Most webinars fail because the person behind them is, let's face it, too scared to face reality. If you can describe someone's pain better than themselves, they naturally assume that you have the solution. You instantly become the authority, and authority leads to trust, which leads to sales every single time. So here's your homework, okay? Find that one uncomfortable truth about your audience, write it down, and make it the very first thing you say in your next webinar. Don't sugarcoat it. Talk to them like a human does. Be bold, point it out, and watch what happens to your numbers. Before I let you go, I'm going to ask you two things. One, hit subscribe, and two, watch this video next. See you in the next one.